Hi everyone, my name is Rishad. Today is the 18th of August 2024. I'll be going over my weekly prediction for Nvidia. As usual, I'll be going over the monthly, weekly, and finally the daily charts, and then I'll switch over to the Excel sheet where we'll review last week's prediction and go over this one in more detail. Last week's prediction there wasn't a video on it per se because I was flying back from the US, coming from Harvard summer school, and as such I didn't have time to make this video. But I will cover that prediction. That was actually on the Excel log either way. So before getting into this video, however, it is important to make the disclaimer that all information here is completely educational, and therefore it is important to conduct your own analysis, whatever analysis that may be, to ensure that you're comfortable with the risk, reward, and trading style, since you may not be with mine, and use this video in the manner that it is intended to be, since it is an educational log and rationale of my prediction, not a trading guide of any sort. So with that out of the way, let's get into this video. The monthly charts we can see are very interesting for Nvidia, as we have three very long, well, this was a particularly long like hanging man type of candle, since it's not at the bottom, so we wouldn't call it a hammer. This here is a high wave spinning top candle, and this here is just another spinning top candle. You just very long wicks on all sides, showing it's a pretty volatile, indecisive kind of market. So here we can see how far Nvidia went down, and the price really went back up, and you'll see this even more clearly in the weekly charts. However, as alarming as always, volume completely diverging from the price. I mean, this is one of the weakest uptrends I have ever seen. So this is a very bad sign, and I hope that the volume this month kind of backs up the price action that we're seeing, because otherwise this is just a euphoria which is bound to come to an end at some point. RSI is overbought. That's another sign. However, for Nvidia, this doesn't really matter on the weekly monthly charts. You can see how long it stays overbought, and that's not particularly an immediate sign of reversal. It tends to stay overbought for a very long time, so that's not really a big deal. RSI is definitely trending upwards. We're not denying that. Definitely trending upwards. We have been in an uptrend for Nvidia. Very strong uptrend at that. ADX is completely going up. We're trending. However, the problem is that the volume is diverging, and that the wicks are very long. I mean, this is not reflected here about the volume change, but this is something to be very wary of. Monthly charts, weekly charts. Now, this is what I was talking about. These three candles were, three consecutive bearish candles that we had, and this right here is almost you could even call this a bullish counterattack, and which is why I would have predicted that the market just goes up massively next week, which is what happened, and we see this. This is a Marubozu candle. I mean, very strong bullish candle, although on low volume, which is again alarming. RSI has now gone up, but overall it's still tilting downwards, and that's kind of what we see in the price action. So you could say it's a minor divergence, but you couldn't really. That's not particularly accurate. ADX is going down as of now, since we haven't really done anything in these last 5 weeks in terms of price movement. Basically, the DI plus is above DI minus, so we are still in a slightly bullish environment. ADX is above both, which shows that we're definitely in a trending environment, and that's what we gained from the weekly charts. Now finally, let's move to the daily charts. Here we can see that Nvidia has been in a steady set of opening gaps. I mean, it's gone up for the last week, actually 2 weeks probably. Yeah, it's probably more fair. However, again, now this is what I'm talking about here. If you look here, this is how the price action is going up, and actually, just for illustration, I probably should draw this. This is price action. Basically, this is a pretty decent line, and this right here is volume. Clear divergence. I mean, and this is very alarming. Should not be the case whatsoever. And although it is expected that this continues, I still think that it's something to watch out for. And I think it's still a pretty accurate and a very strong indication that in the intermediate term, I would expect a correction for Nvidia, a more serious correction than the one we have seen. RSI, however, has now started to go up, confirming this price movement. ADX is actually going down. However, we are still in a slightly bullish environment. Well, we are now in a market that favors bullishness slightly, according to the DMI. Now, moving to the Excel sheet. Last week we had made a huge profit, and since I mentioned that this candle right here, I would have basically the first confirmation we got, which was this candle right here. So on the 12th, this would have broken the high of the week. This did break the high of the week, and that would have prompted me to take a position going upwards, which is what happened. And we actually made a 14% profit. Huge candle. I mean, we saw this in the price action. Around a 24,000 would have been around a $24,000 profit compared to from last week. So our now closing balance is 192,986. For this week, we'll buy when it crosses 126.5, sell when it falls below the support at 117 with a target of 2% and a trailing stop loss, with a trailing stop loss of 1%. If neither are hit, then we will just close on Friday. The weekly trend, I would still say it's sideways, although because I couldn't argue that it's up or down. A monthly trend, however, is up. And that's all for this video. Thank you for watching. Enjoy, and I will see you next time.